Yo, what is up guys, it's Ghost here, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a long hard look at one of the weapons that is kind of ruining the meta in Battlefield 2042 at the moment. It's the weapon that you see everywhere, everybody seems to be using it, and I'm sure you guys can tell by the background footage by now if you hadn't guessed already. We're talking about the VHX D3. But what is it that makes the VHX so good, and what do DICE need to do here to help keep it in line with the rest of the guns? Guys, as always, if you do enjoy the content here on the channel, hit the subscribe button, leave a like below if you enjoy the video. Thank you guys for the support as always, and without further ado, let's get into the video here. So, I don't think I'm alone in saying that whenever I personally pick up the VHX, I feel like I've just leveled up. If I've been using another assault rifle like the M5A3 or even the AM40, which is already one of the best assault rifles in the game, if I get used to using those weapons and then switch over to the VHX, man, it is like night and day. I start dominating so much more than I was before. And it's not just me, you also see it, I think, on the enemy team. I get killed by this weapon all the time, which means that you guys must get killed by this weapon as well. So I don't think I'm alone here in feeling like there is somewhat of a problem with the meta at the moment. It's kind of getting a little bit too generic, and it's kind of starting to feel like this is the only viable weapon. Okay, so why is this weapon so good then? So to answer this question, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the weapon statistics here. Now, all of these statistics are coming straight from Sorrow's scribbles. This is a really nice database that he's put together for all of the weapons in Battlefield 2042. So if you guys want to check that out, I will leave a link to that down below. But for this purpose, we're going to be comparing the VHX to its most likely counterpart, which is the AM40. Both of these weapons have a lot of similarities. They both have around 900 RPM, although in-game it says they only have 850, but it's actually closer to 900 according to Sorrow here. They both have a standard extended mag that gives them 40 rounds. So all in all, in terms of stopping power and rate of fire and things like that, these guns are fairly similar. And let's remember here that the AM40 was and always has been one of the best assault rifles in the game. But I'm going to show you guys just why the VHX is head and shoulders above the AM40. So let's take a look at the bullet to kill ranges. Okay, so 4 bullet to kill range is pretty similar, up to 9 meters on both weapons. Then you get up to the 5 bullet to kill range, and the AM40 stops at 29 meters, whereas the VHX goes on up to 39 meters. And then it gets even worse from there. If we look at the 6 bullet to kill range for the AM40, it stops at 50 meters. For the VHX, it stops at 74 meters. So you're able to kill with 6 bullets 25 meters longer with the VHX than you are with the AM40. And then after that, both weapons go to a 7 bullet to kill infinitely, essentially. Another interesting fact here, if we look at the ammunition, the reload speed, actually the AM40 does have a slight advantage if you do the tactical reload, which means you don't completely empty your magazine. 2.14 seconds there for the standard drum magazine, as compared to 2.49 seconds for the standard extended magazine for the VHX. However, you will notice here that you only get 123 rounds total for the AM40, but for some reason with the VHX, you get 205 rounds. I really don't understand why that is, because if we look at some of the other assault rifles, such as the M5A3 here, you can see standard extended ammunition, you get 164. I don't think there is another assault rifle in the game that gets so many rounds. Now, unfortunately, we can't see spread and recoil and things like that with the VHX in these spreadsheets. The old Simthic website used to cover all of those statistics, but they haven't been updated in a long time, and so the VHX isn't available to see there. But I'm sure you guys will agree with me if you use both of these weapons. I feel like the AM40 is kind of in an okay spot. I feel like it's fair because it has a considerable amount of recoil, and so when you get to those longer ranges, maybe 50, 60, 70 meters, it's not as easy to use that weapon. The VHX, in comparison, feels like it is way more tameable, it has much lower recoil, the spread is pretty easygoing as well. And I really think that is one of the things that makes this weapon come head and shoulders out above the other assault rifles. The assault rifles have a whopping 2.15 headshot multiplier in this game, so if you're in that 5-6 bullet to kill range and you hit a headshot, you guys will feel it, right? The TTK is so much faster if you hit 1 or God forbid, 2 headshots on somebody at those sorts of ranges, and the ease of use of this weapon really sort of exacerbates that problem at that sort of mid to long range. So if I was DICE here and I was thinking, okay, how can we rein in this weapon a little bit, bring it down just a notch without making it too similar to the AM40, I would say they kind of need to increase the recoil of it a little bit. It's not going to affect the weapon too much at closer ranges, but it will slightly nerf it at those medium to longer ranges and make it a little bit harder to get some of those kills that, in my opinion, you probably shouldn't be able to get. Maybe they also need to look at some of the bullet to kill ranges there to make it a little bit more similar to the AM40. Of course, we don't want too much homogenization. We do want some uniqueness amongst the weapons, right? We don't just want the same weapon with a different skin on it and a different sound effect. But that's at least where I would begin if I was DICE looking at this. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen this situation. Those of you who've been playing Battlefield 2042 for a number of seasons, you probably remember this happening with the RM68, which I believe was in Season 4 with the Flashpoint map. All in all, this may be a bit of a hot take, but I'm not against new seasonal weapons being a little bit overpowered. I think that is the lesser of two evils. Nobody wants to grind and grind unlocking a weapon from a battle pass and then find out that that weapon is worse than what they were already using, right? That's not really very exciting, so I certainly understand why DICE do make the weapons a little bit overpowered, but we've already seen them rein in the DMR that came out with Season 6, is it the G428? So I would like to see them now take a little bit of a look at the VHX because it is getting a bit long in the tooth. This season has been out for multiple months now. The VHX has obviously been overpowered for that amount of time, and so whilst I don't think it's a problem them being slightly overpowered when the season releases and people are having fun with the game, you know, it comes a point, guys, where you just kind of got to go and rein things back in again and settle down the meta. And I think we're at that point. I think for a lot of players, it does feel frustrating whenever you get killed by the VHX, and in the same vein, if you're not using the VHX, it feels like you're doing something wrong. You know that you could always switch over to that weapon, and instantly, you're going to be doing better. You're going to be getting more kills. You're going to be performing better. It's just a night and day situation, at least for me. Guys, as always, leave me your thoughts down below. Let me know whether you agree with me or not. What are your experiences of the VHX in-game at the moment and the overall gun meta? As always, guys, hit that like button down below. That always helps out with the algorithm. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Special thank you to all of my members and Twitch subs for your additional support. Have a good one, guys, and I will see you in another video.